Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Well, I've got a real juicy guest. You guys were super excited. It's Meghan King Edmonds.
Hello.
Mother of 3. Going through a fun divorce.
So fun.
Real Housewives of OC. Also, guest on TLC's Say Yes to the Dress.
Oh
Am
my
I
gosh.
correct?
I did not know where you're going with that. Yes. Yes, I was.
But you just came in and just really quickly, you were like, I didn't realize that Chewy had passed.
Yeah.
And he died over the holidays, and I talked a lot about it, obviously, on Tuesday's show. But I realized, listening back to it, I didn't really explain what happened. And unfortunately, I feel I talked to his really good friend, and it kind of was like an internal bleeding thing that then turned into a heart attack.
Oh, gosh.
But he was in Mexico or Mexico City, and he went to one hospital, but then they couldn't take him. He had to go to another hospital. So there was that feeling with his loved ones, like, had he maybe been here, it might have been a different situation.
Well, how do you just start internally bleeding?
He was like, I don't know. It was like,
you don't.
It was just,
so
it was
tragic.
I mean, he wasn't, looking really healthy in the last picture I saw, but it was very sudden. I mean, nobody was perfect. It wasn't like he was sick or anything. So that was very, he wasn't feeling well, and then that happened. So it was really
for your
sad.
loss.
But thank you. Okay,
Looks like a great memorial, though.
it was. We really had fun and talking about him, and it was really sweet. So let's get into everything with you.
Okay.
So you announced in December. Was it December or November?
What I announce?
They announced. We got word that you and Jim Edmonds were breaking up.
That was October 25th.
Okay, October. Okay.
Yeah, because you guys found out the same day I did that we were breaking up.
And
that's how I found out.
And you found out because you were served, or what?
No, I didn't get served until my lawyer got served, because you can do that when you have lawyers.
Oh, okay.
But apparently, I think. Anyways, I found out because a tabloid printed an article that Jim had filed for divorce.
Now, were you guys separated but working on it?
No, it was very. It all happened very quickly, and
so did he take a bag and he wasn't in the house when he did this, or was he kind of coming and walk through the door?
There was a contentious argument that morning with the nanny who I suspected Jim having an inappropriate relationship with. And she left. I got scared of Jim, that he was going to become physical with me. He was very upset. And so I called the police. The police came. And at that point, that was when he literally packed a bag and left. He packed up his hard drive from his computer, the credit card out of my wallet, everything. So I had no access to it. He wanted to make sure I had no access to his money. So I didn't, even though he left me with his our three children.
He took your credit card.
Yes, rummaged through my purse while I was upstairs hiding from him with my mom and dad. Took the credit card out of my wallet, and then made sure to disconnect his hard drive from his computer and take that with him as well.
So
and took this is really the clincher right here. Our 5-year anniversary was the day before, and he got me a pair of Chanel boots that I wanted, that I tried on in the store and put on hold, and a pair of jeans. He took those too. He took my gifts for the anniversary.
Had you opened them yet?
Yes, I opened them the day before, and I said thank you. I love them, and he took them back. That's the level that we're working with.
So. Your parents were having to be visiting at that time?
No. When this all started, I knew I caught him in another lie that morning. And so I knew I was going to confront him and Carly. Carly was there, the nanny. And so that was when I called my mom before that. And I was like, can you please come over? So that's why she was there.
I'm so glad.
This was in St. Louis.
But I'm so glad you have parents.
Right? Oh my gosh. If that had to go down, which was horrible. Thank God it went down when my family was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he leaves. And when do you discover that your credit card is gone?
Right away. When I went to go get gas or something, right?
And then the next day is when you find out so the next day he filed?
No, that night. So he had to have done it so quickly. So that happened all at 7 Aspen goes to school at 9, and it had all happened, and I was ready, and I still dropped Aspen off at school. So it happened in the morning.
Wow.
And by that evening, it was like probably 8 o'clock. That was when the article was released by the tabloids that he had filed.
And then when your credit card and you realized you didn't have access to money, so then you go get an attorney and then they're able to like release that? Or what happens to someone in that situation?
So like either the other party, this is as far as I understand, the other party at least either comes to their senses and like starts helping, giving money, or you have to go straight to court and get a judge to do something. And we haven't been to court.
Oh, okay. So right now, but that
wasn't even 3 months ago.
No. And then we read all about that. Then there was a lot of back and forth interviews with that.
Right.
And one of the things that came up was your stepdaughter that we got to see in the show.
Yes.
Who her mom unfortunately passed.
Yes.
And that was Jim's first wife.
Correct.
And you were very close to her.
Correct. Yes.
And your stepdaughter was living with you. She was featured on the show. Mm-hmm. We saw her prom experience on the show. Mm-hmm. And and I felt for her and I felt for everyone involved because she was just being bitchy like a teenager would. And her mom and you were trying to smooth it over, and her mom was like smiling and trying to have fun.
Right.
And I felt really bad for it because I'm like, oh, she's gonna. And I think you even wrote something when it aired in her defense, like, please people be, sensitive to the fact that she's still just a teenager. And I remember seeing that going, she's going to look back on this and really feel badly that she acted so bitchy, and nobody else has to see themselves act bitchy at 16. I'm glad,
Yeah.
And so I kind of felt badly for that, but I thought you handled it well. And
thanks.
And
I mean, I love my family.
Well.
Like I've worked really hard for my family. I worked really hard for my marriage and my stepkids, and really hard. I mean, after Jim, I found out that he had a sexting affair on me for months.
Oh, that's right. We also found out about that because someone, was it the person who was having the sexting affair is the one who brought it up, brought it out to the world
or something.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
I don't know if there's confirmation that she leaked it, but someone
leaked it that they were having the sexting relationship, and the receipts, the proof, the screen grabs between him and this woman was then put out there through someone.
Right.
And, the world is privy to it.
Despite seeing that, I said, I love you. I'm committed to you. Let's work through this. Let's figure this out. And that didn't happen. I mean, initially, there was there seemed to be some effort. But, I mean, when you come back from I came back from helping. Our son has a neurological problem.
And I remember you wrote that. You were like, I'm going to try. This has been a very hard time for me. And also, that's the first time you revealed that you had these concerns and you were waiting for results.
Right.
And why don't we just talk a little bit about how Hart is doing, because
he's doing well.
That's why you're here in the Southern California area, because explain a little bit what he has and the experts that you're seeing.
Hart has a neurological condition, brain injury, basically. It's called PVL. It stands for periventricular leukomalacia. And oftentimes that's a clinical precursor to cerebral palsy diagnosis, which is only like an observational diagnosis. So the good thing about it is that it's not progressive. So his brain won't continue to die or become more injured. But the flip side is that while the brain is as young as it is, he's only 19 months, there's certain things that we can do to rewire the brain to learn the things that like the dead parts would have done. And so that's why we're doing this therapy as much as we possibly can. And so the therapy that we're doing here in LA, it's only offered in Sydney, LA, and Boston. And they're opening up another one in Austin this year. And so it's kind of an not alternative, it's just a different kind of physical therapy. And he has made huge strides with it. Like he's learned how to walk because of it. he's now learning how to balance like in place, whereas he's not kind of walking back and forth to keep balance. He's doing really, really well.
And one of the things I read that you wrote was having they're not identical,
No,
fraternal,
but
fraternal twins, that you were concerned because your other twin was making strides that he wasn't.
Yeah.
So in some ways, had he not had a brother, you may have even noticed sooner,
Right. Right.
Later. I mean, you would have noticed even later. Yeah.
There's so many good things about them. And then Hart wants to do the things that his brother Hayes is doing. So he tries to keep up and he challenges himself. So there's so many great things about
the
them
fact
being
that
twins.
they're brothers. Yeah, that twins. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So then of course you get that on your lap.
Yeah. At the same time.
And of course you're going to try for a million reasons.
I mean,
I don't
know. I think some people wouldn't try.
Maybe some people wouldn't, but I respected the fact that you were
I feel like you would have tried.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to try, especially just because it's are you really ready to take that on? You need all your focus.
I literally
on
just
this.
stopped working as much and everything because I really needed to focus on Hart and getting
And
his
at that
treatment.
time, you guys were living full time in St. Louis, right?
Right.
And building this house that those of you who follow Meghan on social media, which you're great on social media,
Thanks.
like interesting and
Appreciate that.
fun. And of course, we get to see the babies. But you were showing a lot about the house, which people were really intrigued by.
Yeah, I was
So
too.
now where does the house...
Jim's living in the house. It's this massive house. Massive. Like close to 20,000 square feet. It's huge. And I don't know. I mean,
And you guys were building it together. Did you build it from scratch? Like, did you with the architect and you dreamt of your...
I had my dream closet and my, and then my dream office and all these, you have your little things in the house that you love. And he had his ideas and, he won out in most everything because that's how he is, but with his ideas. But I was really looking forward to it. But also I was like, it's really big. 20,000 square feet, that's really big.
And so you didn't really want it to be that big.
No. I thought it could have been maxed out at 12,000, and that's only because of the rec room in the basement.
Mm-hmm. And so are you Jim's third wife?
Yes.
Okay. And so the first wife, unfortunately, she passed, and you were always very friendly with her.
Yeah.
And then the second wife had 2 kids.
Right.
So he has 1 with the first?
So he has 2 with the first wife, 2 with the second wife, and 3 with me.
Okay.
So 7.
Okay. So the second wife, now I remember there was the part in a scene in Real Housewives of OC where I think you were trying to share with the girls how close you felt to the younger stepchildren.
Yes.
But it did not come off that great to any woman that...
I know. Apparently, I see that now, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you basically said, what did you say? Do you remember what you said? It was something like
I love them so much, I wish I was their mom or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, everyone just jumped on that.
Yeah.
And I have a stepdaughter. And so I've been sensitive to both sides of it. I understand what that might be like. I also know that with younger kids, when they meet the stepmom when they're very young, they oftentimes start calling them mom. And people find that, how did my stepdaughter started calling me mom right in the beginning because we had her so young. We had her from birth. There was no relationship. Yeah. But people would be shocked. That would just blow people's minds. And I said, they don't want to appear different. So her brother is calling me mom.
Right.
She's going to call me mom too. And I'm like, and it's nothing to take away from her own mom.
No.
But sometimes I think people just I know people have put that in custody things. They can't call them. And I'm like, my God,
really?
Don't put that on your kid.
No, that's too heavy for the kid.
Yeah.
They're just, like you said, they're just trying to fit in.
Yeah, but I mean.
And that's the thing, that says more about the ego of the person who has the problem with it.
Right, yeah. And so now those kids how old are they?
So they are almost 14 and 12. Is that right? No, almost 14 and 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how is that going? Now,
I have no contact with them. I've been
that's the most
blocked from their phone numbers, from their Instagrams. They've been told things according to Jim that
and you met
I never said.
And you came into their life when they were how old?
4 and 7. Just turned 4 and 7. They were little. They felt like my full-blown stepkids. Like they were my family, you know? I did so much for them, just like anyone else would, you know, if that they're your family. So that really makes me sad.
That's the
really
part that I
really
think
sad.
is so heartbreaking.
It's so heartbreaking.
And also it's something that...
It's not helping them.
When you're walking into a marriage as a stepmom, you have to also be aware that that can happen. Like you won't have a say to those kids if this doesn't work out.
Yes.
And if they want to come back at 18, they can.
Right.
But and I've had friends where that's happened. Where
I kind of think that might happen in this situation because I know they're being poisoned with a lot of different things, you know, being told a lot of different things about me that aren't true. And they know me well enough to know who I am. And so, but at the same time, they're kids. Like they want they don't want to rock the boat with their parents.
Yeah, they just don't want fighting.
No, of course not.
Every kid just wants it to be, it's so uncomfortable for them.
Totally.
So,
and I understand that. And so like, I need to let this whole thing play out and hopefully they'll come back. But in the meantime, I'm just praying for them.
Yeah, this is just...
It's messy. It's so messy. I hate it so much. There's no love. Like, it doesn't feel...
When did you feel like, were there moments, you know, like people talked about how, you know, you were on the show. Let's talk about how you got on the show. Okay, first of all, so I just reminded you that we saw you, which I've seen so many big Housewife stars later on. And I'll watch like these marathons of Say Yes to the Dress because they always play it like on Saturdays. And I'm always like on the road and like I'm in some hotel that doesn't have Bravo. So I'll watch like TLC all day long. And I just like the dresses. And I've like seen you on it. I think I've seen there's been so many people that have been on it over the years. Huh. And I don't know if maybe, I always wonder like, did somebody that worked on that show know about you? Like how did OC come about?
Okay. Well, okay, so I don't think there was any connection.
But how did you get on Say Yes to the Dress?
I wrote them an email and I said, I'm getting married to Jim Edmonds. I want to be on Say Yes to the Dress. I think it'll be fun. And so I kind of turned it into a bachelorette party kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they said, okay, sure. Yeah. So that's how that happened. But with OC... Jim and I were in Orange County for something, and he was friends with Heather and Terry Dubrow. And they were having a party. They invited us to it. They said it was going to be filmed. It was filmed. At the party, I went up to a bar for a drink, and David Bador was there.
Wait, was that the one I was at?
I think you were there. Was it the hoedown? Were you? I think you were.
I was at the hoedown.
Yeah,
you were there. It was the groundbreaking party.
So exactly.
And I met you there. But then we went to Shannon Bador's house that night.
I
thought you were already a cast. Okay, then I hung out with you like a year later at Shannon Bador's.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember. But
but that was when I was already on the show.
Right. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I thought that night was after that. But no, you weren't on the show at the hoedown.
No, I was not.
Okay, you were just a guest.
Was randomly inserted in some drama because I asked for a drink and I guess David ignored Shannon while getting me the drink or something.
Yes.
I didn't know what was going on. And then that was it. And so I think that's how production knew about me.
Yeah. Well, they always want a relationship too. So the fact that the Dubrows were friendly with you, that helps as well.
For sure.
Yeah. So then how did they contact you?
I don't know if they got my phone number or email. I think they had my phone number. And they asked me, like, do you want to be casted for this?
And had you been watching the show? Were you aware of it?
Like, yeah, I knew about it. But I would just kind of watch it when it was on.
You weren't, like, obsessed or anything?
No, I wasn't a super fan of any. Actually, you know what's funny? They asked me, who do you think you'd be friends with and who do you think you won't like? And I was like, I think I'd really like Vicky. And I think I'd really, really not like Tamra. Complete opposite. Like Tamara and I are still friends. We talk a lot.
Yeah.
And Vicky and I have never exchanged more than like 5 words and it was forced.
So you do the interviews, and how does Jim feel about it? How do you approach Jim?
He's kind of like, okay, like whatever, let's see what happens. And that's how I was too. And then it like kept going on and on, the process. Haley was, Jim's daughter, was in St. Louis at the time, in our house in St. Louis, and going to high school, and she hated it and wanted to go back to California. And so since she was going back to California and finishing up her senior year, I was going to go with her. And then the Housewives thing was happening. And I'm like, okay, like this could be fun.
Yeah, you can do this year, and I'll be at the house in the OC. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how it worked.
And then what about your house in La Quinta? Do you still have that?
No, we sold it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, so you start to do the show.
Yes.
And now who was on the show with you at that time? Tell me your cast.
So it was, I think Lizzie was on part of that season. So it was Lizzie, Heather, Tamara, Shannon, Vicky.
And you.
And me.
And
that's 5.
And how many years were you on it?
3.
Okay.
And then the next year, Kelly came on.
Oh, all right. Did you get along with Kelly?
Was it Kelly and Peggy the same year? I think it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, I got along with Kelly, kind of. She's like a loose cannon, but yeah. Until something happened between us, I forgot. I think it was in my last season I was on that she turned for some reason. She's kind of paranoid.
Yeah. When was the Brooks thing? Was that your first year or second year?
Yeah, first.
And so Vicky, you meet Vicky.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend is Brooks. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I remember.
Oh my God, this is so gross.
Brooks was there at at the Shannon Bedore house with me and my husband, Peter.
I was there.
And that's when you were there. And I remember you had a very big ring.
I did. I did.
Was it like,
it was like one that you could bend your finger with, I think, wasn't it?
It was like your diamond, right? You had a big.
Oh, it was my diamond.
No, your real diamond.
That was big too.
Yeah, no, you had a really big diamond. Okay,
yeah.
And I remember we were chatting, and you're really nice. You're standing around the kitchen. Anyway, I remember Brooks was there.
Oh my gosh, I remember this moment.
What moment was it?
I think I said to you, I've got to go talk to him. Didn't I?
I don't know. Tell me about that.
I think I remember standing there with you, like with my back toward them and thinking and telling you, oh my God, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to confront him or something like that.
Really?
I think that was you. Yeah.
So wait a minute. Okay. So when do you start to get suspicious about the thing?
Immediately, the first night.
Because she was dating him the season before you, right? I think he was on the season before you. And then that season is when they've revealed that he is fighting cancer that's returned or something.
The previous season?
Yes.
Okay. So I met Vicky at the very first party, and I said, look, we have something in common. People who are near and dear to us both are battling cancer. Brooks, in Vicky's case, and Leanne, who was Haley's mom, my stepdaughter's mom, Jim's first wife, in my case. And her reaction was very standoffish. It wasn't warm. It was not like inclusive. It wasn't like solidarity kind of attitude. It was like basically, get away from me, like don't talk to me. It was so abrasive and cold. I'm like, my like antennas went up and I'm like, right away. And I didn't think, oh, he doesn't have cancer. My mind couldn't go to that place because what kind of vile human being would fake cancer? Like it didn't even register.
So what did you think of her reaction?
That something was off with her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But now I know, like she was, fast forward, she was being defensive because he didn't have it.
So then when did you start to do your detective work? Because everyone loved Detective Meghan.
I still am. Nothing's changed. When Tamara's psychic said Brooks doesn't have cancer, it was me, Heather, and Tamara. And I think it was like St. Patrick's Day. And we're all sitting there with Tamara's psychic, and he's like, Brooks doesn't have cancer. And I could tell Tamara totally thought he didn't. And I was like, Tamara knows something I don't. Like, I could just tell. Uh-huh. And because she didn't try to shut it down. She like kept going with it. And that was my first year. I didn't know if she was doing it for the camera or not. Like, as far as I knew, everything was just for reality, for real.
Yeah,
for real.
yeah.
And so then I started saying, oh my God, if he has, to myself, I'm like, if he has cancer or doesn't have cancer, this is a disservice to like all of the viewers who are watching, because he's going to say he got cured from the juice he's pushing with Vicky, which was what they were doing.
What juice?
They were pushing some juice. Yeah. So then I started getting real deep into it, which is kind of a great thing now looking back, because I don't have that kind of time anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then, like, I remember all the details that came out, that she had called Terry Dubrow about something,
Right.
about an IV, but then it wasn't true. And then she had the big binder. But then
can
she
you
would
imagine
sit.
Terry go? She said Terry went over and gave him an IV. Terry Dubrow, he's like one of the leading surgeons in LA. You think he's gonna pop on over to insert an IV? Really?
And then, and then it was always like, well, he's going to all his appointments. How would I know? And it's like, well, don't most people, maybe you couldn't make everyone, but that she hadn't gone to any, that also alerted people. That she didn't go to any cancer appointments for like your significant other. And she goes, well, I would sit in the waiting room with the binder. And it's like, well, if he's just sitting there getting chemo, isn't it kind of boring? Like, don't you want like a friend to like?
It turned out she wasn't even sitting in the waiting room. Turned out she would drop him off. So I think there was actual like he physically did go to the City of Hope. But then what? It's like that show. What is it?
The Act. Well,
that too.
Well, I do kind of feel like
Dirty John.
Right, Dirty John. I don't think we'll ever really know what, because in the movie The Act, which is about the mom who had the Munchausen's, who put her daughter through all that, I'm like, look at how many doctors failed this child.
Yeah.
Like she went go to doctor, and say what the ailments were, and the doctor would go, oh, this child needs a spinal tap. And nobody went. And the minute the doctors would start to get suspicious, then she'd go to another doctor. So it's like, I think there were a lot of people that failed in this. Like, I think.
I know, it's crazy.
Vicky investigated enough.
It's that group think mentality. Nobody wants to get their hands dirty.
Yeah, and I think there were certain doctors that he could kind of sham or manipulate without saying, I'm faking this, but just saying, I need this, or they didn't really do it. And then.
Can you believe that happened? What is he doing now?
So he got married. I know that.
Who'd he marry?
I saw the wedding photo.
Did they not watch season 10?
She looked attractive. Look, I think there's women out there that want to believe anything. You know, I
agree.
I did this whole podcast with my friend, and this guy was cute. He lived in Manhattan Beach.
Okay.
He was a divorced dad. He wasn't a lawyer, but he worked in the law firm. He had a professional life before. Anyway, he was scamming all these women.
What was the real truth?
He was scamming them all. He was dating them all at different times of the day.
Was he actually a lawyer?
I think he didn't have his job anymore. And he was able to, one was a realtor, one had a full-time job, one was like, a mom. So he'd see her in the afternoon while the kids were at school. And then he would ask them for money based on what he thought they could afford. So the one that doesn't make that much only gets hit up for $300. The other one got hit up for $3,000. The one in the $2.5 million Manhattan Beach house, he was like, I need $50,000.
What?
They all got together and figured it out. There was no real crime that he did or anything. So he went on. But I just got word from someone that sent me some girl's Instagram and said, please don't include me. But he is with another beautiful blonde. She's probably like 50, probably looks to have like some young adult kids, divorced, and they are in Europe. And she is claiming her love for him.
Oh.
And I've never knew love could be like this before. And it's like, a guy like that comes in and he fills her love tank.
Right.
He every day says, you're gorgeous, you're fun, you're great. They're sociopaths.
Right.
So you like
it's a narcissistic sociopath.
You like red vines? I love red vine.
Of course you do.
You know what my favorite drink is? The cocktail you drink every night.
Oh, here, let me make it for you.
And that, and I think to a woman that's been divorced a couple times that is of a certain age, they don't want to know the truth. And they don't want to really investigate because they're enjoying this so much.
Right.
They want to just believe this just a little bit longer.
I agree. I mean, I think that there's a little bit of that we all have within us to a certain level. I mean, we all want to believe that things are better than they are. Like I was just talking to one of my friends today and I said, I don't even want to know any more about this because it's
about your situation with your ex.
No, it wasn't about that. It was about something else. I don't know what it was. But it was like, oh, yeah, I just don't need to have that information.
Yeah.
You know? That's good. I'm good.
The less I know, the longer I live.
Yeah, but not about, I don't want to date a sociopath.
Right. Not when it comes to your own life.
We're going to draw the line there.
Yes. So, okay, so now you're getting your situation together. You come out here to work with heart specialists.
Yes.
So you're in a home now here in the
South Bay.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And but Jim is coming down to help and help you with the childcare, you said?
No.
Oh.
He took Hart to treatment a couple days, but no, he says he doesn't like it in California. So
So he's here now, but he's
in Cabo. Jim's in Cabo right now. He's on vacation with his girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting.
And so
So he's not here renting a house next door to you so that he can take the kids
or
to
even getting a hotel next to me or close to me. No, he's just he's having a new love, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah. It's time-consuming.
So when
he's got to take her shopping.
So
some stuff.
In between the shopping trips.
Speaking of the opposite of the Dirty John.
He actually does take the night shopping trips. But in between the shopping trips, then how do you guys arrange for when he does see the kids? Like, is that like you, the nanny?
He said I said, okay, like, how often do you want to see them? You're going to have them half the time. And he said, I'll come out these 3 days and I'll take Hart to therapy. And that's what he did.
What about the other two kids?
Well, he dropped one off at preschool and then the other one I stayed with. And then I picked Aspen up from preschool after that. And he dropped Hart off after therapy. So then I had all three of them again.
So you just got to know that it's just you, girl.
Hopefully, I mean, yeah, and that's fine with me.
Yeah.
I want their father to be, I want them to know their father loves them.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he does. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get into some other things. Here are some questions I have. Okay. So what OC housewives are you friends or keep in touch with as of now?
I keep in touch with Tamra. And I used to keep in touch with Shannon, but I haven't talked to her lately. Have you? No, I did, actually. I did talk to her recently. She helped me get a reservation at a restaurant. And I talked to Heather Dubrow. Yeah. I'm going to do her podcast next month.
Oh, good.
And Lizzie will message me every now and then, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only other one that you knew that was on your cast was Kelly. And Peggy, the 100th housewife. You don't keep in touch with her.
No, are you shocked?
Dito. She was my favorite because she was like fun to do as far an impression.
Do you talk to her?
No, but I just remember it was for impressions. It was just not. It was not a good meshing. Like I think she was a fine person, but it didn't fit.
No,
and they felt very much like they were like producing themselves. Like like, we need to mail the. What is this? What is mailbox? Remember she like didn't know anything.
Right,
and I'm like, wait a minute.
Had to.
You got here, I think she was born here or she came at 3.
And I'm like that. Yes.
She's like, what is coal? Who's Santa Claus?
Right.
Why do I put coal in stocking? And I'm like, is she doing like Sofia Vergara or something? Like you know how Sofia Vergara's character, like
right.
I almost felt like it was like a character thing. It just did not.
It might have been. Maybe that's worked for her.
I don't know. It was very...
Maybe it's cute. Maybe people find that cute and endearing.
Yeah, it didn't work for me, but I did enjoy doing her impression. What about, what other housewives are you friendly with in other franchises?
Kyle Richards. She's been a huge support for me since Jim and I split.
Well, someone brought up that, and they actually had a screen grab of her amazing comment after something. I don't know when it was, but it was like...
I think it was like the initial
Yes,
post.
she's like, what a POS.
Yes. She said the POS.
Yes, what a POS. You know, you're strong, you're beautiful, you have your whole life ahead of you. You probably don't want to hear it or see it now. Just know it. It was very nice.
It was so nice. Yeah, I really love Kyle.
How did you guys meet?
We met at either in La Quinta or Idaho, because we had a place in both of those.
Right, because when I was in the Coeur d'Alene, you saw that I was in Coeur d'Alene staying with some friends.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Jimmy's there. Text Jimmy. And I'm like, but you're not here.
Yeah.
But then I got to go. But then we got to
for not.
But then we got to go. No, but we still went to like the little that cool club like in the middle of the lake, and we got to go. The kids got to go down that slide.
Didn't I see you there or not?
No, you were out of town. You were not there.
Oh, right.
But you were just like, just go. You were like, just go and use our thing. And then we went and the kids got to go down the water slide thing. It was really cute.
I met Kyle there, either there or like La Quinta. I can't remember.
And so you've stayed friendly with her. Mm-hmm. Who else do you talk to?
Maybe Carol Radswell from New York a little bit.
Yeah, she's great.
In a while. Yeah.
She's really nice. Do you ever worry that you share too much on social media?
Yeah, I do.
That's good, to be honest.
I mean, it's hard to know when to like draw the line since I've put myself out there so publicly.
For so long, too, yeah.
Yeah, for so long.
So now how do you feel about this nanny now? The nanny that you suspected that something inappropriate was going on. Where is that nanny? Where does the situation lie now?
Well, I don't know where she is. I guess she's in St. Louis still. I don't know. And I'm assuming she's not watching our kids. I asked for that not to happen.
So when the kids, are the kids ever in St. Louis though without you?
No, I mean, they'll go to Jim's house without me. Yeah. And
then you'll stay somewhere else in St. Louis?
I stay at my house. Yeah, because Jim and I shared a house together while he and I were building the house he's now in.
So you're in the other house.
Yeah, so he moved into the big house and I stayed in the one that we were in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So we'll see how much longer that lasts though.
Do you think he'll sell the big giant house?
No, I think he'll keep that, but he's trying to boot me out of the little one.
Really?
Yeah. Because he wants to pay off his big one a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And what is the plan with living in these two locations with the three kids? I mean, that must be very difficult.
Oh, flying with three kids. Oh, it's such a mess. I mean, the plan, I won't live, I don't live in LA. We just have a place here so that Jim and I got this place together to rent. It's only a 6-month rental. So that we would have a place to stay that was homey for when Hart does his therapy.
And how often does he do the therapy?
So his therapy is 3 weeks every 6 months, but I got him in to like if they told me that if I have like last minute stuff, they might be able to help me to like pop in and out. So I'm hoping that over like in between those 5 months that he's off, that I can get him in random sessions. And I can do that now because I have a place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Now when we would watch the old episodes, he always seemed kind of off and disinterested.
I can't believe you're bringing this up. I literally just watched the first year reunion.
And what was that like?
He was on it.
Uh-huh.
I felt like I was such a dumbass. I was watching myself like, oh my God, Meg, you're so dumb.
Why? Why do you think you're so dumb?
But like I wasn't dumb. Like I knew what I saw, but I was defending him so much. Like any good spouse should defend. Yes. And that's what I did. But I think I was brainwashing myself a little bit to like really not see what was really going down.
And what was going down?
I just think like if the spotlight shifts from anyone other than him, then it's a challenge for his ego.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Being that he was this big baseball star for so long. Yeah. And his other two wives weren't in the spotlight, right?
Yeah.
And you
They didn't even
weren't.
work.
And you weren't in the spotlight when he
not
met you.
initially. But I worked initially, but then I quit my job.
You were in pharmaceutical sales, right?
I sold medical software. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, people would always joke, like, oh my God, he's so disinterested. You're trying to have a conversation with him and everything. And you revealed to me one time when we were hanging out, and I thought it was interesting. You're like, again, you were defending him.
Yeah.
You were like, well, oftentimes I'd already told him about.
Well, that part is true.
I've already told him about the luncheon with the girls.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, okay, when you're having coffee with Jim,
talk about the luncheon.
Talk about the luncheon with the girls. He was like really bored. And I used to, and before all this shit went down, if anybody asked me, I was like, look, the few times I've met Jim, he's fun.
Yeah.
And if he seems disinterested on the show, I would say that.
Yeah. I mean,
and then I was like,
true.
also, they have to show sides of people that will get the people at home talking.
All of this is true.
So if they showed him being a delight and like making you scrambled eggs or something, they're not going to show that. They're going to show.
No, actually, we did have plenty of scenes that were really delightful that they did not show.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so they did exist.
They existed, but they weren't going to show that because what they're showing is
to go along with the narrative.
You're the pleasing third wife, and he's the disinterested dick.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I see that. And then when I was watching this season with Emily and Shane, I kind of felt for them as well because I'm like, now we've seen Shane say these snarky things and these insensitive things to his wife. That's what they're going to show. Her constantly trying to have a conversation. And it reminded me of kind of you guys.
I kind of thought
what they
so
showed.
Too.
Yeah.
I kind of thought so too. But I didn't watch all of it. But some of it I was like, oh, that's hard to watch. But also it was hard for me to watch a lot of the interactions that Jim would have with me. But like at the same time, dudes, suck it up. Like, just hash it out. Like, yeah, I get you've done this now this is your 100th time, but like clearly this means something to your wife. So suck it up. Swallow your pride and just play along for 5 minutes so then you can go do whatever you want to do. That's how I think about it. So he
would just hate like as the cameras were like setting up in the kitchen.
Yeah, he's like, oh, great. Like, it's such a curmudgeon about it, like, oh, I got to do this again kind of thing.
And so then when the second year came up, was he ever like, I don't want to do this anymore?
Pretty much.
And you
like, I'm not going to film, I'm not going to, and I'm like, oh, come on. So I think that kind of happens with the husbands often.
Yes.
They like don't like it.
Yeah, I think the only husbands that have really liked it is Terry Dubrow, which it really worked out for him.
And Eddie
because he became a huge star.
Yes.
Eddie just rolls with it.
Yeah, but he doesn't like it.
But he's smart about it in that he never he'll give his opinion when they have scenes alone with camera, but at parties and stuff, he never inserts himself.
No, he doesn't watch.
No, he steps back. Yeah. And then Mauricio, I always say Kyle and Mauricio have come off the best, the most unscathed of all, because he's delight and he's fun, but he's never gotten in an argument with any of the housewives. But he shows up. Because then you have these other husbands
like mine.
Or you have the ones like, Mr. Girardi, Erica Janes, who literally, is in one scene with a coffee cup. And then we never see Harry Hamlin anymore.
Really?
No. He shows up. Literally last year, I think he did one barbecue and for his family, and he made some blueberry pies. I don't think he went to one other event. So then the other person that loves it is PK. He loves it.
Oh,
PK
really?
and Dorit. I think he loves it. He's on it. He'll participate. When they have a conversation about the girls' trip, he really asks. Aww. He keeps the scene going. He's improving. He's yes-anding. But I think it's half and half. I think half the guys hate it and the other...
So that seems about right. Half and half.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there's some times that, if you want to skip a party, okay, fine. But like... maybe if your wife is going through IVF, like you make a little bit more of an effort.
That was the thing that really bothered people, right? He didn't come to your appointments.
That bothered me too. But like, look, this is my marriage, and that's what I would ask people to think of. Think about like your marriage, it's the person that you love, you're committed to, and you will make excuses for them and you want to like help build them up and support them, at least in a healthy relationship.
Or also just pick your battles.
Pick your battle, all the things. Like I knew that we were in a non-traditional marriage relationship because of like the careers that were happening and like all the stepkids and stuff.
How did your parents feel when you were like, I fell in love with this guy who is this,
probably shoot me.
Yeah, who's been divorced twice, has 4 kids, is this, professional baseball player. How did...
They probably wanted to shake me. I have no idea.
But
he's a nice guy. They were fine with it, I think. They're supportive of me, and he's a nice guy.
Your mom never said, honey, it's hard to... It's going to be hard.
I wouldn't have listened to her.
You're a third wife.
I would not have listened. My mind was made up.
Yeah.
I was like blinded by love.
How long were you guys dating before he asked you to marry him?
I think like 8 months or something.
Oh, that quick.
We got married after dating a year and a half.
That's pretty quick.
It is pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you meet him?
Through mutual friends. Like I had already met him before we started dating. Like before he asked me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we have a ton of mutual friends. Or we did. So that made it easier too.
Right.
To kind of hang out. Like
and when was there ever a moment before the sexting thing happened, before the horrible fight of the day of the filing, was there a moment where you're like, I just don't know that I'm going to be ending my days with this person?
I really tried to keep my brain away from that because I think like I'm like a big on manifestation and stuff, and I wanted to keep it all positive. And so like I wouldn't allow thoughts like that to enter my mind. However, I did know that there was like massive red flags that we needed to work on and like work through in order to come out better on the other end. And so that's like where I was focused.
And did you go to counseling and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
And after the sexting thing, I remember, didn't he do some statement where he was really apologetic?
Probably.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think I probably wrote it. I mean, I'm supportive, right? Like, he's not the best writer, so I helped him.
I mean, 3 tiny kids.
I helped him. I'm like,
I can't even imagine what you were going through.
I'm an enabler. I think that we've just discovered that. Right? Yes.
Probably to an extent.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. But I did what I did, and I can't regret it. I got my 3 kids.
Do you have embryos left with him frozen anywhere?
Yeah, 4.
And what happens there? Did you ever do
I don't know. I think just like keep them frozen into eternity, or.
So you're not going to get into like a Sofia Vergara situation? You know that story?
No.
So Sofia Vergara and her boyfriend, before her hot husband now, they did embryos.
Okay.
But they never inserted them or implanted them. And they had some piece of paper, an agreement that they would both have to decide, if the other could have them, if they were to ever break up. And once they're broken up, they would, end them, destroy them, whatever. Well, she breaks up with him, marries, what's his name? Joe Maggio, what's his name?
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous, just tall drink of gorgeousness.
Yes, he's beautiful.
And he starts coming around. She's so successful. Obviously,
right.
Who's more successful than her, but very successful. And he says, I want 2 of the girl embryos to raise myself and put it in somebody else. And she's like, absolutely not.
Right.
A, they're my children.
Right.
And, not children. They're my
embryos.
And I don't want that. And then also, then what? You're going to come after me for child support for the next 18 years?
That's so creepy.
It's so creepy. And so,
why can't you just get another, like a random egg?
I'm sure there's something, because it's not Sofia Vergara egg.
For sure.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, but you can't it's not a free for all.
Right, exactly. I mean, so in your case, have you thought, just freeze them indefinitely?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to use, no.
And are you done having kids, even if you met someone else?
I don't know. So I'm 35, my kids are little. I could totally have another kid, and I do love the idea of a nuclear family. However, my kids are a lot of work. They're young, and I just need to get out of the weeds right now.
Yes.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say no, but it's definitely not something I'm gunning for.
Not in the next few years.
No.
Yes.
I'm looking at my boobs and I'm like, how about a boob job instead?
Why not?
You know what I mean? So
maybe Dr. DeBroke can do them.
maybe.
He did my friends.
Really?
She was so happy with them.
I mean, yeah, like I'm not making any kind of decisions about anything right now, but that's just where my head is when you ask me something like, would I have another kid? I'm thinking, well, maybe I would just have boobs instead.
For now.
I mean, we'll see.
And then, so did you guys have a prenup?
Yeah.
And is that helping your situation
I don't
and
know.
protecting you
I don't know because since Jim filed, so he filed the end of October. So then it was holidays, literally, like November, December, and now mid-January, I'm in the thick of it with Hart during his 3-week intensive. So I really haven't been able to do much except for like these random couple meetings that we've had to say like when we'll hand off the kids or like how much support I need.
Right. God, I can't even imagine. Let's see. So are you considering, I know you're strapped with, are you considering dating?
Yeah.
And you said you've been getting some exciting DMs.
Oh my gosh. So it's now public that Jim is dating.
Yes.
Like, he has this girl he's dating. And so it is so funny. Like, I don't know what it was if all of a sudden, like, people are like, oh, okay, she can date now. I don't know. But I've gotten a lot of DMs, which I love because it's like, I love that Lizzo song.
Yeah.
And like she slid into my DMs.
Yeah.
And I feel like Lizzo now. These are really, there's more. Okay. Here we go. Your ex is a total loser, but I'm not. LOL. I'm 43, living in North New Jersey, work in New York City. Dinner, drinks, on DL, please.
Wow.
Okay, let's
Sounds amazing.
Just get right into it.
Now, have you looked at these people's faces or anything?
Kind of. I mean, I'll click on them, but like they're nothing. I mean, I haven't even accepted them into my inbox. Like they're not acceptable. You're so damn beautiful. Fuck Jim. LOL.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm. So sweet.
Sometimes you just need that little DM ego boost.
Remain strong and walk with your head high. Always. And walk with your head high always. You're a beautiful woman, Meghan. Are you up for lunch for some time?
First of all, I think it's hard for you not to walk with your head up high. You're so nice and
so
tall. You're so nice and tall. Good posture.
Yes.
Yes.
That was very observant, Heather. So
what about when Vicky said to you, call me in 5 years when your marriage is over?
That's cryptic, huh?
And then
5 years.
Yeah.
To the day. That's
did you even think
cryptic.
of it, or when the fans started to point it out?
When a fan said it, I didn't have even time to think about it. Right. It all happened so fast. And then a fan said something, and I'm like, "Holy balls! This is like this. Like she is something."
Did you hear from her?
She is something. She's something else. That's for sure.
Did you hear from her at all?
I don't know. Not directly.
And what do you think about her next marriage?
Oh, she's engaged, right?
She's engaged, yeah.
To Mike? Is that his name?
He's Steve Lodge.
I knew him. He was on the last season I was on.
Oh, because they just had started today?
Yeah. He's a nice guy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough.
I think they seem good.
Yeah.
Whose side are you on as far as the Vicky and Kelly saga of this past year?
I don't know what's happening.
You didn't watch it at all?
No. I tried. Oh, I watched the episode I was on, and then I tried to like stay on. What
episode were you on?
The train episode for Shannon's birthday.
Oh, yeah, you wore that jumpsuit.
Yeah, I was getting into character, and I was the only one who did.
But you looked so good in that jumpsuit. That
was like
body
$20
was like
on Amazon.
Banging.
Thanks. It's amazing.
The train.
The train.
And that's where Tamara and Bronwyn were making out. Were you there at all the locations?
They were like having sex on the booth. I went to everything. I thought they were laughing. I saw the whole thing. I thought they were laughing so hard. They were like on top of each other laughing, like rolling on the floor, laughing like the Rawful acronym. No, they were like humping. I didn't know that until I watched it.
And what do you think?
Well, I thought it was a little too forward for public.
To be at the nightclub where the cameras are not too forward. Too much.
I mean, it was, I don't know. I'm like, I was a little uncomfortable, but like in a way that I found hilarious, but I felt bad for everybody else in the restaurant.
Well, there was this one girl, this one woman.
In the outfit?
Yes.
The shirt?
Yeah. So it was this
everywhere.
Okay, so there was this one woman, and I screen grabbed it and like put it on my Insta story and put it on Juicy Scoop Obsessed, where I'm like, wait a minute, here she is in the bathroom fight. Okay, then
I was in that fight too.
And then there was another conversation out by like valet at that restaurant that she was seen. Then at the dinner she was there, and then at the nightclub she was there.
Yes,
and so
she
I'm
was.
I'm like, who is this woman? How did she go to everything?
Who is she?
What is
Did you
the
find
deal?
out?
Yes, I did.
Tell me.
Someone goes, that's my mom. And she is a fan. So she happened to be, I think, at the first location.
Okay.
And probably eavesdropper found out where they were having dinner at the next. Then was there. And then when they were getting so drunk at dinner, you know, they kind of enjoyed her, and then they said, "Join us at the nightclub."
Wait, the housewives?
All the housewives said,
my
"Join us at the
gosh.
nightclub."
Did she get on the bus?
No, she never got on the bus, but then they just said, how we're going to wherever, and then she showed up. So it was not, I just wanted people to know, like, it was, because I was like, what is production doing? Is this woman like a producer?
Right, and they had
and what is with the shirt? Like,
the shirt was loud.
The shirt is pretty hard to deny, but no,
it was like a geometrical, like, rainbow or something.
No, that was the best. This girl's like, it's my mom, and she, you know.
That's funny.
She had a great time. She said the girls were all super sweet, and it was like the funnest night of her life.
Like goals, by the way. Like if you're a Housewives fan, that is legit goals. Like props to her. That's pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
paid off.
The girls were getting wasted. I don't think we've ever seen you get wasted.
Oh, I was wasted.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like in all the years I've watched you, I never really saw you get really drunk on TV.
Really? Oh my God, I feel like all I did was just like drink at all those parties. It's like, I mean, it's smart.
I mean, maybe you just can't.
For production.
Can come off.
Maybe I could just like hold my shit together.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe that's.
So thanks.
Yeah. Oh, does your brother, who's the model, right, still co-parent baby with Carol Radswell?
Yeah, but I don't think
so.
It's
Carol
much.
Radswell's dog,
Baby.
Carol, and your brother. Originally, or do they still live in the same apartment building?
They originally did, not anymore.
And
Carol's still there.
That's where they started a co-parenting relationship for this dog.
And there's a third dad, Trip. There's a third parent.
Oh,
so it's Trip.
So
RJ.
they're in a throuple parenting.
They're in a throuple, yes. And literally, like one's on the first floor, one's on the second floor, and one was on the third floor.
Amazing.
It was cute.
So your brother's still in New York?
Ish. His boyfriend lives in Hollywood, and so he's back and forth.
Oh, okay. And is he still modeling?
Yeah.
Isn't he a model? Okay.
Yeah, he's in Milan right now doing something.
And is your sister a soccer player?
Yeah, she plays pro.
Oh, someone was asking about that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, she's played pro for like 8 years.
And that's just the three of you, right?
There's a fourth sister. She lives in St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
She and her boyfriend live in St. Louis, and they are gonna get married.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You're gonna get her on Say Yes to the Dress?
No. She's cool and like non-traditional, and she would die.
And so okay, now was your brother on Catfish?
Oh my gosh, yes. He was the pilot episode.
Tell me about
all of
that.
the Catfishes ever.
How did that come about? Tell the whole story.
So RJ's a beautiful model, my brother, and some person was using his face. Now, this is in like 2006. This is a long time ago.
Okay.
And he, especially like as far as the internet, social media goes, this is a long time ago. And I mean, there wasn't even like, this is when you still like wrote on Facebook walls and you would like only could really do profile pictures.
Right.
And so we found out somehow that this person had this whole huge story about who RJ was and his sisters, which were me and my sisters, but that we died in a car accident. And then like this girl was stalking my sisters. They played soccer at Auburn. She was going to the games. Auburn had to beef up security for the games because at the time there were no cyber laws to guard against that. And we tried to get the FBI involved in the state of Alabama, in the state of Missouri, in like a national, nothing.
So this whole story they used for the pilot episode to sell the show?
So I ran into Neve Schulman, who's is the
creator,
yes. And in New York. And I'm like, Neve, I saw your documentary on Catfish, and I've got to tell you this crazy story about my brother. Told him. Neve and I kind of stayed in touch. We had mutual friends. And then I guess Neve launched his show project and he needed a pilot episode. And we got in touch again and he did the whole thing surrounding my brother. And then, Catfish is like an institution now. Isn't that crazy?
Meghan.
Oh, and by the way.
It's all because of you.
Right. Oh, it's the investigation.
Yes.
I swear.
It's amazing.
Neve got her to shut down catfishing my brother. He said, if you do the show, you have to stop catfishing. And that was the deal. And that was why RJ, my brother, agreed to be allowed to
let it end.
His likeness.
So it would end.
Mm-hmm, so it would end.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay, let me see if I have anything else. Then who is the least supportive housewife to you?
Vicky?
Okay. And
maybe Kelly. I don't know.
And the most supportive?
Tamara.
You said Tamara. That's nice. Well, and she's been through divorce and custody.
Yeah.
So I bet she can be, comforting. Yeah. Let's see. I think I've asked everything. I don't know if I have anything more to
Well, thanks
ask
for having me.
Oh, here's any advice for someone going through a divorce with a cheating husband?
You know how often I get this question? People ask me this all the time. I don't know. I would say that sucks. It sucks. How do you give advice for something like that? You literally just survive.
Yeah.
It's like put one foot in front of the other. And I try to just I personally try to connect with myself. I'm really spiritual, so I do a lot of praying and releasing, and fresh air is always good for me. And literally saying the words that I'm feeling, saying my feelings out loud, there's some power in that for me. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Were you raised religious?
Yeah, I was raised Catholic. I think
that's what I talked about. So we went, and I was doing a show in St. Louis, and we met for breakfast.
Yes.
When you were pregnant with your daughter.
Oh, I was pregnant then?
Yeah.
Okay.
You looked really cute.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a great conversation about Catholic families.
I was almost 90% sure right before I asked you that you were raised Catholic, but I wasn't sure. Well, sometimes that's all you have is your faith.
Well, I'm not Catholic anymore, but
the faith, I think sometimes you learn to turn to something other than a higher being.
Yeah,
whether you follow the rules of it or not. Sometimes when you've been raised as anything, it's in the hardest times you can kind of go.
You can go back to the home religion.
Yeah, go to something just else to know that you know what.
Yeah, it's been for sure, and also what I'm dealing with between this divorce and the nastiness of it, and back and forth between LA and St. Louis, and my son's neurological issues, and just being a mom of 3 little kids in general. It's heavy. It's a heavy, lot of heavy burdens to carry, and sometimes I just have to say to God, "Can you please help me carry these?" Because it's too heavy for me. It's too heavy for me to wake up in the morning, but I do every single day.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your new venture, because you just launched your own podcast with Brooke Burke, who's amazing.
And Leila DeVille.
Who's the other person?
Leila DeVille. She's a sex coach.
Okay.
She is amazing. She's she's just therapeutic. She's a therapist, but rooted in intimacy. And so the point of the podcast is we talk about all issues related to sex and intimacy. So anything from porn to how to get the spark back, or we just talked about sex toys. We just talked about what else? Oh, even erectile dysfunction, how women feel about it. So there's all kinds of things. And then what is intimacy? Is it always sex? No. So it's just a way that I think women are already exploring over coffee. We're already talking about these things.
Are you recording it here when you're in town?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you do a few.
Yeah, we'll record I'll go to Brooke's. We'll all go to Brooke's house in a couple days and record a couple there. We just want it to be comfortable. So it's fun.
Good.
And we're all 3 so different. We all offer really different perspectives.
Right. Because now she's divorced twice, right? And she has 4 kids.
I think she might be divorced 2 or 3. Is it 2?
I don't know.
She has 4 kids.
Yeah, she's 4 kids.
4 kids.
No, she's
going through a divorce.
Right. She was married to the plastic surgeon, right? Then she had I know,
So 2
I know more
divorces.
about your co-host.
Yeah. So 2 divorces.
All I know is that she's drop dead gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
Yes.
So is Leela, by the way.
Oh my God, all 3 of you are so pretty.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a great podcast, and we've been getting a lot of traction.
What's the name?
It's called Intimate Knowledge. And
Okay,
you can
cool.
You can find it anywhere, but we've been getting a lot of traction because we're talking about things that people are a little scared to talk about.
Good. Yeah. I love that.
Thanks.
Well, I am praying for you.
Thank you,
to
Heather.
stay strong. I think you're an incredible mother.
Thanks. You're
And
so sweet.
I think that, get that support system too going of other moms, that are going through what you're going through.
Yeah.
Because, and I think it's so great that your son has a brother and a sister, and
Me too.
And I love that you have siblings and a mom and dad that are still like, be grateful for that.
Yes.
'Cause
I mean, there's a lot of joy in my life. There is.
through what you're going through. So I'm so happy you have a good family support system and friend support system. And then, I'm sure there's mothers everywhere that are reaching out to you that want to guide you during this time. And I think you're great.
Thanks, Heather.
Thank you.
So fun. So let's get a selfie.
That was amazing.